Sixth grade, I hope you've been enjoying the line art series. We've done two so far. We're going to do a third, another line art piece, this time with the use of colour as well. Here's what the drawing looks like. And so as you can see, some similarities to what we've been doing before. Use of line, use of this time use of overlapping lines, and also, like I say, use of colour as well. So I hope you've been enjoying making the line art pieces. Next week we'll do something different, but this is one more line art piece for you. Alright, let's get started. So we'll begin by sketching out the shapes, and we'll start with the house. We're going to think of like rectangles to start with, and other shapes. I believe they're called rhomboids when they're like a rectangle that's squashed. Let me show you what I mean. So we'll start with this first side of the house, something like that. Maybe just a little bit wider on this side. Remember to press lightly so you can easily make changes. Good, something like that. And so this is what I think is a rhomboid, when it has like that. I'll check afterwards if that's what it is, if that's what it's called. So then we've kind of got a triangle here, but we're going to join it to this rectangle here, and then another rhomboid like this. Now the trick with these drawing shapes like this is really getting parallel lines. You see how this line and this line are parallel. That means if they kept going forever, they would never touch. And if they're not parallel, if one of them's sort of like this, it doesn't look correct. We've got another rectangle here. It's looking pretty good. Right, now let's have another little bit of roof coming off this side as well. So another rhomboid, another set of parallel lines. Yeah, so with the rectangle, the parallel lines are on both sides, like here and here, and also here and here. With a rhomboid, you've got diagonal parallel lines, but also these parallel lines too. Hope that's making sense. Let's get rid of this line, and we'll have a rectangle here, and then another line like this. That's looking good. Alright, so let's put in some windows. So the next thing that we're going to do, of course, is to work with the markers. We're using colours this time, of course, but I'm going to go in and use the black first. Okay, the roof is going to go in the lines are going to go in the direction, in the diagonal direction that you've drawn the roof. So every line has to go in that direction. And again, you know, this is practice. Part of this kind of work, making a picture like this, is to practice this method, this skill of controlling a line. Okay, so you know, this, it doesn't have to look perfect. It's just about practicing this skill. Now we're going to do another set of lines going the other way too. Now I've put that first one in, and of course I've seen that these need to be extended. Now the other roofs have got to be done in the same way, so let's carry on. Maybe, since we're going to put those lines in, let's do those first. There, we can learn from the mistake that we made. Or the mistake that I made, I should say. Alright, so now we're going to do this large wall. And this wall is going to just be made of diagonal lines, and we're going to be really careful around the windows, because we're not going to outline the windows. The lines are just going to stop where the pencil lines are. Whoops, made a little mistake there, never mind. Alright, so diagonal lines like this. Now I get to the window, that's okay, so I leave the little space. Now this is going to be a tricky line here. I have to start all the way down at this point, continue, stop, and continue again. Right, now I've got to the point where I've got one long line, or maybe more than one, maybe just one, that's going to go all the way across. So because this wall is facing the same way, it's going to have the same lines, the same pattern on it. Okay, so those three windows are going to stay white. That wall is going to stay white. So is this one, but the window is going to be also with lines. However, let's switch to a color now at this stage. So I'm going to use this kind of grayish blue. And then I'm going to create a shadow just around part of the window like this. Okay, just like that. And I'm also going to do the same on this window. And the same idea for the door, but let's use a different color. So I've got a few different greens, and I'm also going to use this pale yellow to mix that in. So let's start with a medium green, and we're going to do these plants at the front first of all. Okay, carrying on, but with a darker colour. These trees that are further away, we're going to kind of do those a bit, we're going to make those a bit easier, just with straight lines. I'm going to start with a line in the middle. I've also switched back to my paler green colour. So starting in the middle and then working our way down from there. I've just created a kind of a space here. Rather than continue those lines all the way down, I'm going to change colour again and just fill that in this way. Finally, we need to have some blue for the sky. And remember, we did that cloud shape. Let's just start by drawing along the top of that cloud. These blue lines for the sky, we can space these out a lot more than the other ones that we've done. That's the finished picture, and so of course the final thing that we must do now is erase all of the pencil. So that last step of erasing the pencil does make an important difference. It is an important final touch, especially where you can see really clearly there is no line. It's really kind of a nice feature of this kind of style of working. So that's the finished piece, and you guys, I hope you enjoy making yours, and I look forward to seeing your work.